One of the things that made the movie for me and was the reason why I ended up having a good time with it is that both Winston and Madeline are kind of cardboard cutout characters when you first meet them, right? You've got the jokey nerd and you've got the no-nonsense cop. And that's kind of what they are in the beginning. And over time, they become more three-dimensional. Specifically with Madeline, people are criticizing how stiff and serious and no-nonsense she is. But did you look at her eyes at some point? There was a lot of fear and panic and insecurity and even desperation there. No, I'm not calling it like an Oscar-worthy performance or anything like that, but there was something there. And it increasingly makes sense why she is this way and why she, aside from general survival, takes this mission so seriously and why she wants to succeed so badly. I thought there was a character there.
Yeah, I agree. I think there was a lot of like breakthrough moments where you could see the old Madeline. You could tell that obviously she, the Madeline that we're being presented with now, which was later revealed on why she's like that now because of obviously her witness that ended up dying. So, and obviously you see moments of Madeline, like you could tell.
And even when she says nothing, there are facial expressions and there are emotions in her eyes, right? There are several shots where there's a close-up on her face and there's a lot of emphasis on her eyes and the emotions are in the eyes, right? The fear and the panic and whatever else. I just disagree with the characterization I've seen in other places where they just call her boring and wooden and whatever else. I don't think that's true.
How do you guys feel about the character motivations and obviously the decisions that they were making out throughout the film? Do you think they were justified?
So the pilot is the worst part of it. Like people always say that like Mark Wahlberg's performance is the standout, and I think he's the least interesting part of this because he's just a psychopath. Whereas Madeline and Winston, I think, are both much more interesting. There's actually a thematic level here, and that is that of redemption and second chances, right? Because all of the characters involved are seeking redemption. Winston got caught up with the wrong people out of greed. He was in it for the paycheck, and he turned a blind eye to the ethics of it all because the paycheck was just that good. And now he's trying to start over, and he's kind of trying to redeem himself, right? And then Madeline screwed up one mission, and it almost tanked her career. She got relegated to a desk job, and she's got a second chance now. And she has to prove to not only her boss, but herself that she deserves a second chance. And that is part of why she takes everything so seriously. That is part of why she does everything by the book, because the one time she didn't, people got hurt. Like, this is not Shakespeare. This is not genius screenwriting, but it's there.
Yeah.
Right? And it kind of underpins what the different characters are doing. And then the pilot screwed up once, got into prison, obviously had terrible experiences there, and swore to himself that this will never happen to him again. So he will either make it, like being so good at what he does that he's never going to get caught again, or he goes down fighting. And that kind of explains why he does what he does, right? Because it's kind of his approach to the idea of a second chance, and twisted kind of redemption, right? It's not really redemption, but in his head, that is his chance at a second stab at things. But I felt like that was enough to hold the different characters and performances together. And like all the logic problems don't really undermine that theme, because all it takes is put these characters in the situation. They're in the air. The pilot's not going to help you. Figure it out. Right? I think that's part of why this works for me.